Hello, everybody, and welcome to our debut edition of the Phantom Fables podcast. I'm Revan alongside Kati Kat joining me here. It is a very spooky October evening, Katie, don't you think?
Yes, nice and chill outside.
Well, we had a little bit of rain earlier.
We did.
I mean, it was, it's kind of nice. It's been a warm summer, and
Yeah, I've
now
been
we're,
enjoying the nice temperature drop.
yeah, it was like 80 something like last week, and now it's,
Ready for fall.
yeah, exactly. We are live today. This is our debut edition. Thank you so very much for making us a part of your evening. We hope to have you be a part of our podcast as we take you all throughout the paranormal activities throughout the United States and around the world. It's going to be a lot of fun because I am definitely looking forward to talking about things I may not know about, things that Katie may not know about, or maybe you may not know about. So before we get into our episode today, which is about Bowers Mansion.
Yes, it is. We're going to be talking about in this episode a local legend that is very familiar to those that live in the Reno, Nevada area. And that gem is Bowers Mansion, and it has roots tucked away in the town of Virginia City.
Well, it has the connection to
Well, the
Virginia
roots,
City.
that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
the
Yeah.
roots of it, but it's
That's where it kind of started.
right. And if you're not familiar as far as like the actual area, so it is kind of more on the outskirts of Reno.
Correct.
It's in more of Washoe. It's what's called Washoe Valley, which
Like in
is
between Reno and Carson.
exactly.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that here on today's show. And again, thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. If you like what you're hearing and if you are interested in hearing more about our show and what we're looking to do, please make sure you drop a like, subscribe. Um, I sound like one of those YouTubers, make it,
Yes,
drop a like, leave a comment down below on what next house project I want to work on.
no new podcast, so we're looking for subscribers for
That's
sure.
right. That's right. Now, obviously, as we're new, we're kind of figuring things out as we go along. This will not be the permanent home for the Phantom Fables podcast. We will eventually have a Phantom Fables podcast page, and we will also have an email address. We will also take request on maybe if you see something or if you've heard of something, we can definitely investigate it, and then we might even have you on the show. We will be doing every now and then live remotes. Every now and then, we might be going to different places,
Yes, all that kind of stuff.
different guests. Yeah, different guests, different opportunities to try things out. So before we get into the show, so a little bit of background as far as us. So Katie, I know
Sounds good.
you actually have a connection with the Bowers Mansion in
Very much so.
itself. So before we get into that, talk to us a little bit about your history with just the paranormal, the type of things like that in your history in your life.
Yeah, definitely. Apparently, I was a very sensitive, excuse me, sensitive child because started having experiences as early as like 8 or 9, 10,
Hmm.
and just kind of explored from there. Different things happening, and you kind of just eventually, as you get older, you're kind of like, okay, this is a thing. This is really happening. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, like, just things kept happening throughout the years, and I realized that I am actually very psychic.
Hmm.
And
You're not psychotic. You're
yeah,
just a because I've known you for a very very long time, and I've always kind of wondered maybe she's psychic or psychotic. I'm not entirely sure.
no, he
Um.
likes to tease me,
Oh yeah, no, it's
but
like
he,
a brother
you
sister
know,
relationship we have for
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Absolutely.
And I'm a medium. Found that out in my early to late or to mid 30s.
Hmm.
I didn't know I had that ability until some things happened and it kind of flourished from there.
Okay. Now what? Now for people who may not know what a medium is,
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about a medium.
So a medium is different than like what you would consider a psychic.
Hmm.
A medium is like someone that actually able to hear the dead, to get visions from spirit, messages to other loved ones of theirs. I don't. There's a lot of misconceptions about psychics and mediums and things like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's really where I define it is being able to speak to your loved ones that have passed on.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Now, in medium, obviously, there's going to be skeptics, right?
Yes,
There's going to
for
be
sure,
people that may not. Oh, I don't believe any of that.
definitely.
I mean, obviously, some things may not necessarily come to fruition. They may not. I mean,
Or
it's
they may
definitely
not meet
possible. Yeah, exactly.
whatever.
There may not be. So it may be something where if you're trying to connect with someone that's on the other side, you may not be able to get that.
And it's not the easiest thing to do. I mean, you're
Hmm.
basically trying to get your vibration on the same vibration as the spirit and hear and feel and get all these things that you're trying to get from them. And sometimes it can be difficult. We're not, we're living, they're not. And so
Yeah.
it's like trying to learn another language and trying to like pick up on a radio station that may not be coming through clearly.
Right.
And I've learned that, you're getting what you're getting and it is real, but you're not always hearing the full picture
Hmm.
sometimes.
Do you feel like there's a sense, and I know we talked a little bit about
Hmm.
this, but obviously we're just gonna, for the people who
Yeah,
haven't heard it.
for
So,
sure.
does it feel that you are, in a sense, you go through that connection and then you just feel like zapped? Like, do you feel just this energy that's sucked out of you kind of way when after a reading
Maybe
like that?
after, yeah,
Hmm.
because it can drain you. It takes a lot of energy from myself to tap into it. I have to change my vibration. I have to kind of like go in a trance in a way. And
Hmm.
I hate saying that word because it's misnomer
Sure.
sometimes people saying trance, but it is kind of like that. It's kind of like you have to push everything else out that's external and really tap into yourself and what's
Hmm.
going on,
Right.
and the person that you're reading too. You read their energy as well. It's not just a spirit.
Hmm.
That person's energy has to kind of match as well, and that
Right.
helps a lot.
Yeah, and obviously you have to have someone who, as far as a medium goes,
Hmm.
you have to, in a lot of ways, have them be understanding that I may not connect with
It
that
may not
person.
be exactly what you're expecting too.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
exactly. You may not get the
And
answers that you want to
it
hear.
can become more intense as you go
Hmm.
because you're connecting with that person that you're reading, the living person that you're reading, and that spirit at the same time.
Hmm. See,
So,
I've always wanted to have a medium for like my mom,
yeah.
but I'm always like super nervous that no, it's not because of any other thing. It's just,
We'll
because
give
there's
you a
always,
reading later. Don't worry.
well, you don't, no, you don't have to right now. No, you have to do it right now. But it's one of those things too, is like part of me wants to have that connection
Hmm.
as far as that, but also part of it is that I have to sometimes let someone go. And I think with loss, in a lot of ways, I
Yeah.
think there's always have that. Like you just have that
Yeah.
worry.
It's like you don't have to, it's hard to explain, but you don't have to grieve over that person because they're in a better place.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean you have to forget them either.
Right.
Just because you're like okay with them passing and that they are, not, you're missing them and they're gone doesn't
Hmm.
mean that you have to forget about that person and how you loved them and how you cared about them though.
Right.
So you got to
Exactly.
remember that.
Yeah. No, and that's something too that, and I think a lot of people, because I think the biggest misconceptions
Mhm.
with mediums or just psychics in general
Mhm.
is that, well, they got it wrong, or oh, they didn't have that connection, so they're full of crap. I mean, that's not
Yeah,
necessarily
that's
true.
you know, that's a funny subject because I actually watch a lot of other stuff with mediums
Hmm.
and how they talk, and I'm just curious myself because I'm learning myself.
Hmm.
And another medium was talking about that exact thing,
Hmm.
and they were saying, um, because they were reading somebody, and they weren't meant to read that person. It was the person in the background, like they were filming for another person, and then
Right.
you can't choose who you connect with. That's whoever comes through comes through. And
Hmm.
he was like, no, 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 and then he finally connected. Sometimes you don't remember things.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't connect with something because you are a human being that doesn't remember everything that happened in the last however many years you've been living,
Hmm.
or you're not remembering things in the past. So
Hmm.
it connects usually. It's just that that person's not able to connect it. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
absolutely. Katie joined us here in the home studio here at the Phantom Fables podcast here. So yeah, so obviously, that might be something we might address maybe
Yeah,
more in depth
for sure.
at a later time. But obviously I want to
Sounds
get a little
good.
bit of your background so people know
Yeah.
a little bit about that. And of course, Katie does take medium readings for $100 or more. So if you're interested, please drop her. No, I'm just kidding. So as far as myself goes, I'm not a medium.
Hmm.
Obviously, I don't see the future.
Well, everyone's sensitive.
What's that?
Everyone's sensitive.
Oh, everyone's very
That
sensitive.
they just don't know it.
Oh, I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I mean, when I watch Field of Dreams, especially that last scene, oh my God,
Exactly.
I lose my shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, he just wants to play catch with his dad, man. That's all it's trying to be. Um, so for me, I don't have like any kind of psychic type
Hmm.
of history. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard some things about maybe family members,
But you've
but
had experiences.
I've had an experience. I did actually have a couple. Well, one definitely for sure, and that was actually just last year.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Right. So, I'll kind of tell my story on that. So, and I've had a couple others, but nothing like what I saw last year.
Right.
So, we were at a wedding
Yeah.
up in Virginia City, which, by the way, if you ever go to Virginia City at any time of the year, it's amazing. But go up there for Halloween.
Yeah,
I
it's awesome.
promise you,
You're at the same wedding, by the way.
we were at the same wedding. It wasn't with us. We didn't get married.
We didn't get married.
No, we did not.
But we were together.
We were together. But no, we went up to what was the name of the chapel that we were at?
Oh, it was at Piper's Opera House.
Piper's
It
Opera
was in the
House.
chapel. Yeah.
Well, someone got
But I
married
think
there,
there's
so
a lot of weddings there.
yeah. So
And that place is really haunted too.
so Piper's Opera House, and that might be another episode we can
Oh, we're
do.
definitely doing that one.
But for anyone who has kind of ventured into watching Ghost Adventures, right?
Exactly.
They're always up in Virginia
Yeah,
City.
they've done a lot of episodes.
They've done so many episodes, and it's
Virginia
not
City.
just Ghost Adventures, it's
Yeah.
like these other ones.
Other investigators.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of different type of energies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I like to say energy more than anything else.
Yeah.
But we were at Piper's Opera House. By the way, beautiful building.
Oh,
Absolutely
gorgeous.
gorgeous
Love it.
building. Parking's a bitch, but
Yeah, really.
but
Well, anywhere there.
well, yeah, anywhere. I mean, and honestly, it reminds me a little bit of parking in San Francisco in regards to the hills. Like if you park like in the flat part, you're usually parking at the wharf, but any part into the
It's like,
city,
yeah, it's kind of like weird
it's
level.
yeah, it's definitely that.
It's a mining town.
It is, and it's an old mining town, and people still live up there. People still live up there. They reside there. They go to school there. They
I
play
wanted to live
sports up there.
but I was like, I don't know if I want to live up in the mountains.
Well, I mean, but it depends on the
The
mountains, though.
snow,
But
mostly.
well, I mean, up here, like in northern Nevada, we do get a lot of snow.
Yeah,
But in Southern California, like that's where I grew up.
yeah.
I mean, there's snow up there, but
Mhm.
nothing like the Sierras. The
Right.
Sierras get hit when you get a snowstorm in the Sierras,
That's the
guaranteed.
thing stopping me from not living there though is the snow. Honestly.
Well, I mean, what you do in your career, you can definitely do. Live up there without
Maybe
having to
one
go
day.
outside. Yeah, who knows? Get Mouse to go up there and
Right.
build you a house with
I
his
wanna
bare
live in a
hands.
B&B up there one day.
B&B.
Maybe
There is a
somewhere
B.
or something.
I did see a B&B one time because I was kind of just looking to see what like Airbnbs and whatever. There's actually one that they have that's like a caboose,
Oh, really?
and it's
Oh,
like in a
really?
train. Yeah, it's in the back of a train.
There's so much stuff I don't know.
It
about
is.
Virginia,
There's.
actually.
It's it's insanity. But anyway,
Yeah. There's
just
parties
imagine Pyramid Lake when we talk about that. If you guys want to freak out, listen to the stories about how you connect Tahoe to Pyramid Lake. It's
Right.
crazy.
Totally.
But anyway, we were up in Virginia City. We were at
Mhm.
the Piper's Opera House for a
Yeah.
wedding, and gorgeous, gorgeous building. We had a great time and everything. And a few of us, well, not a few of us, a few people got rooms
Yeah.
up there, and they're like, "Hey, let's go hang out and afterwards, and let's do whatever, right?" So we went up there, having some beers and stuff like that. We had a good time. It was, I mean, there's some videos with the Silver Dollar Queen. That's right, Silver Dollar.
Silver Queen is where you went.
I thought it was a silver dollar. Oh no,
Oh,
there's a okay. So there's a mural that's a silver dollar. That's what I always call
I
the
was
Silver
thinking
Dollar
Silver
Queen.
Dollar.
No, the name of the place is the Silver Queen, but
Yeah,
there's a
the
Silver
hotel is
Dollar
Silver
Queen.
Queen.
It's like this huge mural that's
Oh,
like
really?
it's like 30 feet tall, and it's all made of silver
Yeah, where actually
dollars. You were just up there last year.
I've never been to Silver Queen though. I've never been in the hotel.
You never been in the hotel?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I've been
I
to
was.
a lot of places, but
Yeah, there was a
not
few.
everything.
So there's a few people that we went up there,
Yeah.
and we were up there again. I mean, they weren't doing. We weren't like drinking beer like a bunch of like 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
We weren't anything like that. So I was asked to go to the car just to grab something. It's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's fine, no problem. Because besides an opportunity to kind of like maybe not explore, but just kind of
Yeah.
look around for real quick. And
It's
there's real,
Halloween.
yeah,
It's
it is a little spooky. So you're just kind of like, I'm fine, nothing going on.
some air.
Yeah, there's no air conditioning.
Right.
I think there's a heater in there, maybe like a gas powered heater or something like
Right.
that. I don't know, but there's a heat out there. Anyway, so I'm like in the hallway, and all of a sudden, as I'm going down the hall, I grab the stuff from the car. I come back, and I see an image of a
Mm.
person down the hall, and I thought it was
And
just
that's
someone.
so rare.
Well, it was like somebody it looked lifelike. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen like a ghost in person before.
Yeah.
Never have. And I was looking down the hall, and I didn't think much about it because they were wearing a nice Victorian dress. They had like long black hair. It wasn't really anything that was out of the ordinary.
Yeah, because you see that a lot in Virginia. You see people dress up,
Yeah,
and you never know if that was an actual person.
because they do a lot of cosplay up there.
Yeah,
They do a lot of
exactly.
cosplay. They dress up. They do all these different things too.
So at first you weren't really
Yeah, I didn't think much about
thinking
it.
much. Okay.
Like I'm just going down the hall like thinking no big deal, and all of a sudden I get closer and they're just look like they're looking out the window,
Uh-huh.
and then literally as they get closer and closer, I didn't see feet, I didn't see anything. I just saw an image of a person,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden, bam,
Disappears.
the image is gone,
That's crazy.
and I didn't say anything
That's so cool,
because I
though.
didn't want to be like, oh, I saw a ghost.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
it'd be like
No one's gonna believe you.
no one's gonna believe me.
Halloween, they're thinking you're joking around.
So I had it in my head for a good like 2 days,
Yeah.
and I was like, I I don't know if I saw something. So I wasn't. I mean, it didn't like really register with me until I think I got
feels
home.
like that. It really does. It takes a while for you to process it.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
So we literally get to a grocery store after we get down the hall, and I think that's when we got down the hill, I should say, not the hall, down the hill. And we went to a grocery store because I think we were craving carbs or something. I don't know what it was. And then it was like midnight, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? I think that might have been a ghost.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it hit me. But I still didn't say anything because I didn't want to.
We'll have to research and find out who that could be because maybe there's some history there.
I think it's the girl from the Ring. I think the girl from the Ring was really a ghost, and I think that's what it was.
I don't think her hair was wet and she was in a well, but okay.
No, her hair was dry. Never mind. No, the Ring 2. She was the Ring 2. She was the sequel. They couldn't get the original ghost, so they had to get a different ghost to help out. So anyway, so yeah, so I think a couple days I finally like told Michelle, I'm like,
to see your first full apparition.
and I'm like, I think I saw a ghost the other night.
Yeah.
And she's like, why didn't you say something? I'm like,
he probably believed you more because you weren't in like that jokey thing that you do.
Well, I joke around.
Yeah.
Like I bullshit like crazy, but I obviously wasn't like really thinking much about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 or 3 days later, I'm like, I think I saw something, and I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Because, I didn't want to say anything. And I even told Michelle that. I'm like,
unreal. Trust
it
me.
did. It totally felt unreal because I didn't know if it was like sincere. I didn't know if it was legit. So it turned out it was. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would assume it is, but I don't know.
No, don't doubt it because
Yeah, no, I know. I just don't.
That's what you do is because it's so rare to see a full apparition, and like a lot of people don't believe in ghosts, so it's like kind of like you're like, am I crazy or did that really happen? It's a weird feeling that you get,
Yeah, and I've always believed like there's something there. I just have never experienced it. Now, not to say that I've never been to a haunted place before, because I have been. I've been to the Queen Mary, which again,
by the way,
what's that?
On my list.
Yeah, so if you go through the hotel, there's a Winston Churchill room.
Nice.
And you can actually smell if you and I've asked some people there, because if you ever go to the Queen Mary, they do have an actual ghost tour that really is kind of intense.
Yeah.
They don't put any kind of special effects, but then there also is another one that's probably more geared towards kids.
Yeah.
Where they have like flashing lights, and it's like you're going through a ride at Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know, where you have like the flashing lights. It's all production.
Yeah, no thank you.
But I literally was walking down the hall, and I got a whiff of cigar smoke.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "Do you smell that?" And Michelle's like, "I don't smell anything." I'm like, "That's kind of weird." And then a gentleman came up. He actually worked for the Queen Mary. He's like, were you smelling something? And I said, "Yeah, I thought I smelled cigar smoke." He's like, "Oh, that you walked by the Winston Churchill room." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." He's like, "Not many people can smell the cigar smoke, but when you do, that means you can."
That's where your sensitivity comes in. That's where your psychic senses come in. Because if she didn't notice it and you did, that's because you're more tapped in.
Oh God.
I'm just saying. Like me and you could be standing in the same spot, and I could see something and you could not, because you're not tapping into that frequency or that vibration.
See, I'm a guy though. I'm oblivious to everything. I'm like, what? Huh? Sports? Okay, cool.
Not necessarily. Apparently not.
Apparently not. I guess not. So anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of our background. Of course, if something ever pops in, if we ever run into something like a ghost, I mean, I see a ghost in the mirror every day. I'm I'm white as a ghost. I mean, I make Casper look like he's got a nice tan, but obviously, if you do hear any kind of paranormal stuff, please again drop it in the comments,
Yeah.
live chat. Let
Any
us know.
experiences, let us know.
That's right, please, and make sure it's PG, please. None of this any kind of I had a dream one time. I'm like, no, please don't do that. All right, so that is kind of our little bit of a background
Yep.
on paranormal,
Yeah.
and we have a psychic medium over here. I'm gonna get a reading apparently later. I don't know. We'll see about that. But yeah, so the title of the episode today is "The Mistress of Bowers Mansion." So
Yep.
obviously, Bowers Mansion. Not, I wouldn't say it's something that a lot of people know about as far as around the world or even in the United States. People think
in our area, but not really outside of that much.
yeah, so like
No?
Northern Nevada, which by the way, that's where we're located. We're
Cool.
located in Northern Nevada, and for people who may not know, what you see on Ghost Adventures and all these other TV shows, Nevada is by far the most paranormal state in the entire country. Nothing comes close.
Right.
At the end of the day, nothing comes close.
Not Gettysburg?
Well, that's just like that's more like a little bubble. We're a whole
Yeah,
state.
true.
So, but like like you can go all the way to Elko, Winnemucca,
Yeah.
Lovelock, Reno. I mean Reno, big time. Pyramid
Yeah.
Lake, Virginia City, Tonopah, Goldfield, I believe.
Yeah,
Goldfield. Yeah, Goldfield's another one as well.
Some good stuff. Tonopah. Did you say
Tono,
Tonopah?
yeah, I think well, if I didn't say Tonopah for sure.
Tonopah's a big one.
Even Vegas. I mean Vegas,
Right.
and I think there's a lot of that. But the one thing about Bowers Mansion is a lot of people here know about it, but not many people around the region, the United States, around the world know about
that's why
that.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah, so Katie, I know this is one thing you really were passionate about, and I had to almost file a restraining order against you because you kept talking about, can we do a podcast? Can we do? I'm like, fine, do it. So let's talk a little bit about, as far as before we get into your experiences
Right.
with Bowers Mansion, why don't you give us a little bit of background on Bowers Mansion in general?
Sounds good. So Eilley was actually, I believe she lived in a different state. I'm trying to think of where it was. And she ended up moving because her family, she wanted to get away from her family, ended up going with her sister because her sister married a Mormon guy. And so she was like, this is my way to get out, is to go with her. And she actually ended up becoming Mormon too, to kind of escape her life.
So it all started with Mormons.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. No hate comments, please, guys.
Right. So she ended up like, okay, let's see. I don't remember where she was. Well, she was from Scotland, I guess that's where she came from, and then moved to like Illinois, Nauvoo. If anybody's Mormon, they understand where that's at. And then I believe she went to Utah and then ended up in Virginia City, if I remember right. So, one of her dreams though was to own a mansion, and she ended up, you know, becoming like a boarder. She liked to like take people in and feed them, and kind of like a B&B in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up marrying a couple guys, and then she ended up with Sandy.
So she did the reverse Mormon, where she actually was a woman and married men.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
nice, cool.
She's married, divorced, a couple
Wow.
times. And she ended up with Sandy, and then she got, just to cut it, short story or long story short, she ended up getting a claim up in Virginia City.
And for people
living up there.
and for people who may not know what a claim is, that's
Mhm.
basically they found. Well, in the Comstock, it's more silver, not really gold. Gold is more California.
Yeah, so in Nevada, more silver.
More silver
probably.
than
But I
gold in
think it
Nevada.
was gold too, though.
Well, it may have been. I would be
So,
surprised.
but she was part of the big silver boom up in Virginia City. And she ended up with this claim. I can, research more about how she got that. But basically, that's what made her a millionaire back in the 1800s.
And keep in mind, millionaires back in the 1800s is worth like
that's unheard of.
That's like,
Mhm.
I mean, we're talking 600, $700 million. I mean,
So
I don't. I
big
mean,
jump.
that might be
She hit it
exaggerating,
rich,
but yeah, she hit it rich.
Yeah, and so because of that, and she was always such a she was very much a people person. She liked to have parties, and
So like a socialite kind of
she's
thing.
very much a socialite as
Yeah.
far as like her personality.
Mhm.
And so she loved to have people around her. So because of that, she wanted this mansion so that she could have parties and picnics and all this stuff. And she found the perfect location in Washoe Valley, and ended up that was started building it and having boarders and people staying there and all sorts of stuff. So it was pretty crazy. And then she got really into also doing spiritual seances in the mansion, and very much was like giving people readings and guiding people. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that place, when I went there as a child, was rife with energy.
So you felt it like right
Oh yeah.
away. I mean, because I do want to eventually lead into
Hmm.
that as far as
Yeah.
your experiences. So, but basically, so far, she's a socialite,
Yeah. She like met the
millionaire,
queen,
1800s
you
millionaire.
know, and she got to like she went to like England and other, you know, Europe several times to
Hmm.
like get furniture for her mansion. It was, yeah, she had a pretty crazy life.
Now, would it be something to where she would have other people of her class? And I mean class as far as not necessarily like based on race, but it would
Hmm.
be more as far as economic
I don't
status.
know. I think she liked all people, honestly. I don't
Okay.
know if she only hung out with people that were like that made the same type of money as her,
Hmm.
because I don't think that was what the impression that I got. The impression was like I said, she would take people in and let them stay there to make
Hmm.
a little money, even though she didn't really need it at that point because she had so much money
Okay.
from the, you know, the mining and everything.
Hmm.
I think she loved all types of people, and that's why she had picnics a lot.
Hmm. Did she have a type of thing? So it sounds like she would be more like not necessarily a social. Yeah, I guess it would be a socialite, but it would almost be like a philanthropist in a way.
Yeah, she was like the mom of the area. You know what I mean? Like she would,
Okay.
you know, want to like feed everybody and bring everybody in and have fun and, you know, drink and
Right.
eat and be
So
merry kind of person.
it
That's what the impression I got.
yeah, and it sounds like it's because obviously back in the 1800s and
Hmm.
even to today,
Yeah.
prostitution was very legal in
Yeah.
in this area. It still is, right?
Yeah.
But it would be something where she would not be like a madam. It would just
No, no,
be
no,
someone
definitely
more
not.
like a
I haven't heard
like a
any.
mother hen type of
No, I
thing.
haven't heard any history about that at all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
no,
And that's something too, especially when we do more
a
episodes
lot
of
of
like,
helping the miners. You know.
well, yeah, and especially because the miners would, I mean, that's a whole different
Yeah, and there's like so much
series.
history. I'm really like cutting it really short. You
Yeah,
know.
no, and yeah, we don't have 17 and a half hours to do. I mean, you literally can have
Like there's so much history with
if
this.
seriously, if you ever get a chance to ever come out to northern Nevada, definitely take a trip to Washoe Valley,
Yeah, for
Carson
sure.
City too, not just Washoe
Right.
Valley and Virginia. I mean, Virginia State, obviously, that's
Yeah.
the main thing, but Carson City too.
We'll definitely explore Carson City too.
There's just so much history as far as the Comstock, as far as that, and obviously there's more stories of. I mean, Mark Twain. We can
Yeah,
do an
yeah.
episode just on Mark Twain.
Yeah, that's Virginia City too.
People don't, I don't think quite understand how much Mark Twain was out here.
Oh yeah.
He spent many of years out in Virginia
I didn't
City.
even learn until my adulthood about that.
Yeah, I knew a little bit about that. So there's a YouTuber named Justin Scard.
Mhm.
He and I caught him only because he does a lot of Disneyland videos, and I'm a huge Disneyland fan.
Right.
I mean, if you remember my voice from a few years ago, you'll probably know
As we
why.
know.
I know. But one thing that he liked to always talk about and do is come up to Virginia City and do like videos about the city and about
Yeah.
maybe the room he was in. Which, by the way, he did do a Silver Queen episode,
Oh,
and he
really
spent the night
cool.
up there,
Nice.
which is kind of silly because nothing really happened in that. But the point is that one thing he talked a lot about, and it's mentioned a lot in Virginia City, is Mark Twain and
Yeah.
how important he was to getting the city going and
Yeah.
keeping it relevant to the society and the history that ultimately is today. Again, people live up there. It's not a metropolis. It is a very small town,
Yeah.
maybe 500 people, maybe 400,
Yeah,
something
and I'm
like
not
that.
even sure how many people it was when it was booming. There's quite a bit, I
Oh,
think.
way more. Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't put it past. I mean, you can make an argument that at some point in time that may have been the biggest city in the Western United States
Right.
because of all
The
the
mining
mining and everything.
yeah, drawing everybody in.
Right. And by the way, public service announcement:
Mm.
do not go into a mine. They,
Don't
I
get near them because
don't
you don't
get,
want to fall in it.
do not get near 'em. Don't even get within like a. Now you can go on the road. I mean, there's roads that you can drive on
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But once you start going up the hill, do not do it because there
Very
might be
dangerous.
they might be boarded up, they might have been covered with dirt, and the slightest footstep, you're going down the
Hmm.
100 feet. So
Definitely.
that's just me. So
So the thing about Ellie, though, the big thing about her
Yeah,
is
tell about Eilley.
that
She's really a big
she
focal point of our story here.
okay, we're going off subject a little.
Well, that's okay.
That's okay. Is she really wanted to be a mom? That was her biggest thing from my research. And she did get pregnant twice, and unfortunately, she lost both her children in infancy. You know, that happened a lot in the 1800s. It was kind of common, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, she was very devastated by those losses, and she just really wanted to be a mom.
Mm.
And so both the children, her and her husband, I believe, are all buried there on the top of the hill
Right, and
behind the
that
mansion.
was I was just going to mention that because
Yeah.
they do have burial sites up
And it's cool
in
because you get to, walk up the stairs and kind
right.
of do a little hike.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a cool little spot. And it's not like right next to the mansion, it's up the hill, you know. And it's got really cool headstones and stuff. But anyway, so that was really hard for her, and she ended up adopting later on. She adopted her daughter Persia, and then unfortunately, I don't remember how old she was, but she was in her preteens or something like that. She got sick when she was away from the house and passed away. So then she had that loss too, and her husband.
And that was very frequent back in that day when
Yeah.
medicine and stuff. So
Like, and it's hard because her mom was like busy working or something and she was
right,
being cared for by somebody else and couldn't make it in time before her daughter passed on.
right.
Which I don't want to go off track too much, but I do believe that Persia is also at the mansion.
That's
Like,
okay. It's actually not you're not off track at all. It's
yeah,
actually part of it.
she's there.
Yeah.
I've definitely sensed that for sure.
Did you smell her? Did she lay a
That's one I don't get as often, actually. I'm kind of surprised you got the smells because I have so much trouble with that. I don't smell things.
so
Like, I don't, that one's not my strength.
so one thing that Winston like the
Mhm.
Winston Churchill. That's the only thing I do know, even before even going on the Queen Mary, even before
Yeah.
hearing about the Winston
He was like,
Churchill
"Well,
story.
here."
He well, kind of. I mean, he smoked a lot
Yeah.
of cigars back in
Mhm.
the day, and I didn't know about that back
Yeah, he didn't.
prior to that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the
Yes.
Winston Churchill room.
I mean, I would assume if somebody told me, I'd
Right.
say, "Oh, that makes sense,"
Exactly.
but I wouldn't know that necessarily.
Right.
You know.
Hmm. Okay, so let's get into your history with yours.
So the crazy thing is, I have like probably 3 experiences
Okay.
there.
And of course, keep in mind,
I'm
and
not gonna go through all of them,
no,
but
no. And obviously,
mhm.
I would probably go through the one that you feel most comfortable talking
Yeah,
to.
for sure.
And obviously, just discuss what you feel that you're okay to talk about. And if you don't want to talk about certain things of it, then absolutely that's
No,
fine.
it's fine. I'm pretty open.
You were not choked up, you're not picked up by your neck or whatever like they do in those
No,
movies,
no,
that kind of thing.
nothing
So,
crazy.
all right, go for it.
But it's hate memory because I'm getting old now and I can never remember how old I was. But I was in my preteens, probably like 9 or 10, something like that. And something they did back then was they would take us on field trips, and one of the field trips was Bowers Mansion because I grew up here, so I'm a native Nevadan, and so they don't do it anymore, unfortunately. But they don't do a lot of tours. It's like they're very limited when they do tours, but they had a lot of field trips that they would do. So we went to a field trip. They have the reason why they would also do field trips is because they've turned the Bowers Mansion into a park. So you get to go to the mansion, and then you get to play at the park afterwards. Sometimes they take you to there's a swimming pool there now, a public swimming pool, and so sometimes they take you to that too. But anyway, so they're doing this tour, and I didn't know at the time that I was sensitive kid that I could pick up on things, or I didn't know anything about ghosts or anything like that. Um, and I'm kind of just going through it. I was a very observant child. I still am a very observant person. So I was going through it really slow. I was really taking it all in and I was looking at everything because I love looking at old houses and old buildings and old furniture and old clothes and all that kind of stuff. So everyone's like kind of rushing through and I didn't really want to do that. I was just kind of like there's this big room when you first come in, like the living room area. And I was just kind of looking it all around and taking it all in. There's this huge mirror, it's like gold frame and all this stuff. And so I'm sitting there staring at that. And all the other kids and the tour guide are talking about the history and stuff and walking ahead of me. And I'm just kind of going very slow and just taking it all in. And I don't think I had a friend there or anything. So I was just kind of by myself. And so I'm just kind of following them slowly and looking at everything I can. And then they kind of turn the corner and they go up this stairwell. to go to the second floor, which I believe there's 3 floors, but they end up adding the third floor later on. And so I go up these stairs. I'm kind of staring at the stairs. They're a little creepy. So I'm kind of like, that's creepy. And I'm kind of just looking up the stairs for a while, going, whoa, that's kind of interesting. Kind of steep, honestly,
Well, and a lot of the stairs up
from what I
there
remember.
too. A lot of the stairs were very much like that too.
Yeah, and it's during the day, so
Especially in Virginia City, you
so
have
it's not
some of
like it's
those,
creepy,
like
but
the Mackey Building. If you ever go
yeah,
up the stairs, it's like almost a vertical.
yeah, they're pretty narrow.
Right.
And so I'm just kind of like going up the stairs slowly and just taking it all in. And maybe I'm feeling the energy. I don't know, but I'm just kind of like chilling, you know? And so I walk up the stairs and they're kind of ahead of me, but I'm trying to listen as I can with the tour guide, but I'm really not at the same time. I just want to see what I feel and what I see. And the first room that I remember seeing is the children's room. So it's got a crib, it's got like toys, it's got a rocking chair, it's got all this stuff in there that they've got like a gate so you can't go in the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bedrooms and stuff and the kitchen. I don't think they let you in there at all
Right.
because it's all staged and everything. And so this is about 1990, 1991 maybe,
Okay.
around that time period.
Damn, you're old.
I know, right? And so I stop at this gate. I'm looking in the room. I'm just kind of looking around at everything. Like I said, I was really taking it all in. And all of a sudden, I see something appear in the rocking chair. And it's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I don't know much about the history at this point. I wasn't really listening to the tour guide. Okay? So I just know we're going to this cool house, this mansion. I'm a kid, you know. And this woman appears. She looks like she has something swaddled in her arms. The rocking chair was not moving, but it was like she was moving in the rocking chair. Does that make sense? And I feel like I couldn't see her face, but I could definitely tell, like, her clothing looked 1800s, mid 1800s, whatever. Now that I look back on it, and she's just crying and upset and distraught. And
Would you think this person, I mean, the individual was when you
maybe
saw
like
her?
her 20s or 30s.
Okay, so young, like
Like,
early to
yeah, mother age,
Okay.
age for appropriate for a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And all I can do is stare. I can't move my eyes. I can't move my body. I feel like almost kind of like that. What do they call that? Paralysis, sleep paralysis, almost like that. But I'm awake. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
yeah, I was just like mesmerized by this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt all the feelings and emotions of a mother losing a child,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like 9, 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that feels like.
So it sounds like that individual was transferring her energy that she
Yeah, I
was
was
feeling
feeling
to
her
you.
emotions
Mm-hmm.
and her feelings.
Is that normal in paranormal? As you've gotten older, have you when
As
you've
a
done
medium,
research in it is
I
okay.
have definitely felt like how people feel,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been able. That's one that I'm very strong at, like
Mm-hmm.
feeling people's emotions and their feelings and what they're going through and stuff like that. So it's not surprising now,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, this is unreal. Like, how am I feeling this? You know what I mean? How am I seeing this?
Right.
And I could tell that the baby was not alive, or the information was given to me that the baby was not alive that she was holding.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? And so then, like, all of a sudden she's gone and I'm snapped out of it. And I'm like, what the heck? I didn't tell anybody about it for years
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know if that was real
Right.
or if I was having a fever dream.
But and of course,
Literally.
with society
Yeah. And I was
nowadays,
like,
you would
nobody's going
be.
to believe me.
Yeah, exactly. Like with me with the Silver Queen, I'm like,
Like, I didn't
especially
even
on that night.
think about it or talk about it until I was in my teens or maybe 20s.
What made you feel that it was time to kind of open up and discuss your
I don't know,
experience?
just reflecting back on it or having other experiences that maybe confirmed it for me
Mm-hmm.
that I wasn't crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if I tell people, I want to see how they react and stuff.
Right.
And
Did it
so,
did it feel that you would have been shunned
oh
or
yeah,
in a sense?
I
Okay.
felt very scared to tell people.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Because it's a very intimate. I mean, I wouldn't say it's intimate. I guess it kind of is intimate, but like I think with society now, like especially now with
yeah,
social media and everything going on, and when you say something, 95% of the time the reaction is like for something like that,
yeah,
would be, oh, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you
It's
say,
like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. So,
Maybe she's just trying to get
and that
attention,
was kind of what I was feeling
you know?
last year when I had that
Yeah, yeah.
experience. Um, but in that sense, did you feel a connection, and do you still feel that
Oh,
connection
yeah,
with her today? Okay.
definitely. But the crazy thing is that connection I didn't realize was there until way later,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
because I would go there every year because my dad was a mailman.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would have the post office picnic every year at Bowers Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that I would have had the experience to go there multiple times like
Mm-hmm.
that if I hadn't had that experience. It's kind of far from where I live in a way. It's like what, 45, 30 minutes to
Well,
45
any
minutes
part of
away.
town, yeah, it's
Yeah,
about
so
that, especially with
I
all the
wouldn't have
growth.
gone there like on my own, because it takes time and energy and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But every year I'd go there and I'd be like, "Oh, cool. I get to go back to the place where I saw the ghost," and I would be fascinated and like almost like obsessed with it in a way like I got to go down there and see if I feel anything again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Have you ever had the urge to ask them, would you like, can I spend the night?
I wish. No, I haven't. I think I don't know who owns it. It's the women's something.
Yeah, it's I know it's not, it might be, see, like when I was researching a little bit, I initially thought that it was going to be something that it would have been owned by the state,
Yeah.
because it's technically a historical landmark, right?
Right, right.
And it very much is,
Mhm.
with all the history. And obviously, Google Bowers Mansion, you're going to find just, the trees in the background,
Yeah.
and everything, grass. Now, of course, one of the bad things about Bowers Mansion is the location, which again is a great
Yeah,
location.
it's just kind of weird. It's like in by itself almost.
It's kind of by its,
Yeah.
which I get why, because
Yeah.
it does a little. I mean, if you're on horseback, it does take a bit of a jaunt to go down the hill
Yeah.
and be able to do that. But the concern that I think we have nowadays
Mhm.
is that there's a lot of fires out here, and
Yeah.
there's always, like last year we had the fire out in Galena area, and there was, it was like Davis Creek, I think it was, and it
Yeah,
wasn't far, like
there's
half a
so many
mile
fires that have
away.
happened at Davis Creek though,
Yeah, well, yeah,
which is right next door kind of.
because people are stupid and they don't
Yeah.
want they
But thankfully it's never been danger
yeah,
that I know of. Like
that's
real danger, I mean.
that's well, and they had that, they've had, well, fires. I don't want to say just one fire, there's been fires, but remember back in the, I think it was the 70s or 80s, there was that big landslide
Oh
that
wow.
happened in Slide Mountain.
That would not be good.
No, I mean, and there, but it's just one of those things where maybe they were protecting it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always possible that they were
It's
protecting it.
near and dear to my heart.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I feel like if I wouldn't have had so many experiences there, definitely wouldn't feel that way. You know
Hmm.
what
So back to your experience, because I know we talked a little bit
I mean? Yeah.
about and everything. Do you, or have you, like, shared this with other mediums, in if you've ever encountered any kind of mediums or anything like that, and have you ever discussed this where they would actually want to maybe do a little investigation or something like that,
I
maybe
mean,
take a look at it?
I don't know a lot of mediums. I've met up with a lot of spiritual people that share the same stuff as me, but I haven't really explored it with a lot of mediums. No, not really. I mean, I did start doing investigations, like ghost investigations, because I found out that I was sensitive.
Do you wear the Inspector Gadget costume with like the fedora hat
I
and the
think
long
that's
trench
more
coat?
your style, dude.
I know. No, I might look like someone that may not be appropriate or be around kids.
Stop.
Well, you're not supposed to be looking like that.
Yeah. But then
Now,
I got the chance to investigate it later on,
right.
and that's when I had my second experience.
And is
And
that
that's kind of
something?
important to, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that.
That's kind of what solidified me realizing that she's there, I'm not crazy, and it really did happen, and that she's connected to me. You know what I mean? And this is kind of like before I even realized I was a medium, honestly. Um, so my sister got me connected with this investigation team, and we did a couple investigations. This is, I think, our second or third one, and it was the first time that Bowers Mansion itself ever opened up the mansion to do a ghost investigation at night. And so I don't think it happened ever again either. I didn't hear about it at least. I think it was the
Um,
first and only.
so obviously it sounds like they don't necessarily open this up to anybody to do stuff like that, where they
No,
actually
I don't.
do.
I haven't asked them. I'd love to do an investigation,
Hmm.
but I just haven't really tried that hard, honestly.
Hmm.
But I don't think they open it up to people investigating it very often. No.
Well, I think that would be something that would be cool to
We
at
might have to
least
look into.
experience and
Yeah.
as far as that. And when you have investigations, just like a psychic medium, or you have anything, you may not find anything.
Right.
Or you may find, oh my God, I'm never coming back here again within a 50-mile
Right.
radius.
That place is probably where I've seen and experienced the most in like
Hmm.
town.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's a hotbed of energy there.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like other places. Like some places may have kind of, I like to call it a wormhole, but it's
Like you
more
feel the
like a,
energy. Yeah.
yeah, but it's not like it doesn't feel like it's a dynamic or demonic or,
Demonic.
yeah, thank you. Demonic.
It's
I'm tired.
okay.
But you don't have those type of experiences where you have these like evil spirits, because there's different types of
Oh yeah, for
spirits.
sure.
You have spirits that obviously felt something like you saw
Hmm.
with the young woman holding the baby, and the baby obviously was deceased.
Yeah.
But you have some that are very much very evil, and they have no good intentions at all. They want to inflict pain and
Yeah.
anger and all that stuff on other people.
Yeah. But I've had mostly, I mean, positive experiences there. So like the second time, like I said, they opened up the mansion. I think there was, I'm just guessing 50 to 100 people there.
Hmm.
And I think they just, advertised it out there to town. And so we're there. I have my camera because I always like to take photos, especially if I'm going to see if I can catch ghosts and stuff like that. And I'm pregnant with my second child.
Hmm.
So I'm about 27, 26, 27, something
Hmm.
like that. And we're kind of in a circle because we're waiting for everything to start, right? And there's like four or five of us. I can't remember exactly. So I'm kind of like, we're in the back of the mansion. We're waiting for everything. They're kind of like, hey, everybody come over here. There's a bunch of people here in front of me. And then there's us. We're kind of in the back because, that's how I like to roll because I like to be able to, like I said, take back and look at everything. And I'm talking to somebody like I'm talking to you right in front of me, and then all of a sudden I just get this sense, and I'm like literally like, hold on a second, and I can't even finish my conversation I'm having with this person, and I look to my left, and I'm like, what in the heck? I just felt an energy.
So let's capture that moment.
Yeah.
When you felt that,
Uh huh.
were you feeling paralyzed again as
No,
before? Okay.
it
Were
was
you
like pulling me that way.
would you be able, like, in a situation where,
Hmm.
let's say it's like me or you, or just me or you and somebody else, like someone who's investigating,
Yeah,
would you be able to communicate with that person saying, "Hey, I'm feeling something right now"?
like the person in front of me. You saying?
Well, like if we're having a like let's say
Oh,
we're
okay.
there, oh yeah, this is pretty cool.
No,
Have a
I was
conversation,
like, I
whatever.
was so mesmerized, honestly. Like, I wasn't paralyzed, but it was like, I didn't even want to look at what was in front of me. I was just like, what is
Hmm.
that over there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. So it's more of you're completely distracted
Totally.
and you're
It
not
was
able
like
to,
squirrel.
and you're well, that's usually the case
Basically
anyway.
what it felt
That's
like.
usually the case anyway. But it's not like where you can say, "I'm feeling something right now. I'm feeling this." So you weren't able to like communicate that with somebody else. Like if you were
Not at the time,
not at the
no.
time.
I didn't even
Okay.
think about it. It
Okay.
was more like, "Well, holy crap, what is that?"
Okay. And it was not a 6'3" Italian model who was wearing nothing but his tank top and
I wish, but yeah,
okay, well,
no.
that was not a ghost. It was a person. Uh, but no, but seriously though, you
Yeah.
were you were seeing that.
So I went over, I saw when I turned, I swear to God, I'm seeing this large white orb-ish type thing that kind of formed into like a woman in white almost. And I know that sounds so cliche, you know what I mean? But that's literally what I was seeing. And it was like she was on the second floor, like balcony. No, not really a balcony. It's kind of like a little, like an edge thing. I can't really explain it
Yeah, 'cause it's one of
because it's
those.
not something you can stand on or
Yeah,
get
I've
to.
seen it. And those older
You
hotels
know what I'm
have
talking
that.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about. They're like those older hotels with like a little gate
It's
right
kind of like
there.
this is the second floor, and then there's like this little edge right
Yeah,
here.
I don't know if they're intended to be, but
Yeah.
maybe
But
to keep
anyway, I
kids
see
inside.
this woman like, and it took me a while to realize that's what was happening because at first it's just the orb, then all of a sudden forms into like this woman in white, kind of ghosty figure, which sounds so like typical ghost, but that's what I saw. And then it was coming towards me, like kind of like floating towards me, and I took a photo
Mhm.
because I was like, oh crap, I gotta take a picture of this. Is this what I'm seeing, or am I crazy? Literally in the photo, there's a white giant orb.
Do you have that photo with you right now?
I don't. I have it on a computer somewhere, and I really need to bring it over and have you like download it because it's stuck on a computer, and I'm like, man, I really need to get all my
Yeah,
photos.
send it. I mean, you have my email address. You can just send it to me there. So,
No, it's I don't have I don't have like a monitor. I need to bring it over so you can.
is it like a hard drive or?
No, it's like a tower.
Oh, that's what I meant. Like
Like
a.
I don't have it in my Google Photos because it was so old. You know, it's like that was like what 2007. So you
That's
know,
just crazy.
I
I mean,
know, right? Like we didn't. I didn't. I saved it on there, but that's it.
well, as long as you, I mean, you still have it. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I have
there's.
other photos from that night too. That wasn't the only one I got.
Yeah, that'd be cool to check out one day
That's the
just to
crazy thing.
see.
And walking a little bit further, then you see kind of like the back balcony area, and then there's like balcony up here, balcony up here. I felt something, I sensed something. So every time I sensed something, I took a photo. I didn't do anything unless I sensed something. Green orb, right where I thought it was.
Now, what would be now? Obviously, white orbs are what I've always heard about.
Right.
As far as that, what
I
would
never seen
be?
a green orb before that day.
What is a green orb though?
I mean, my only guess is ectoplasm, so it makes it greener.
I want to Google it.
I know, right? I'm like, they say ectoplasm is a real thing. But yeah, like I got a green orb that night. And then like as we're walking because they like all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, we're gonna be walking around the mansion, then we're gonna go in, right?
Right.
And so we're going down and I see more stuff as I'm walking, and there's this tree down kind of further back towards the park area.
Mm-hmm.
And I get like three white lights in this tree. And it's dark out, okay? It's black. Okay. I see three little orbs in this tree. And then we turn the corner. And that's why this night was so crazy because so much happened that night. Um, we turn the corner past this tree that I took a picture of right before that, and I feel something behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's like right by the window behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I whipped around. I'm not kidding you. Like when I took this photo, I like felt it so quickly that I was like, I have to catch this. I whipped around behind me, took a photo. I have a giant orb in this picture. I mean, it's probably this big. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
kidding. Like physically that big, and it was moving upward in the photo.
Was it a white one or is it green
White.
too? Okay.
It was white. And
So
I have all these photos.
so I have a definition of the green orb.
Okay.
A green orb is often associated with healing, nature, and the spirit world. It may symbolize a need to open oneself up to love and appreciate the world around you.
Oh wow.
So apparently this is Ferngully, the last
I don't
rainforest.
know.
So you were
I
visited by
just
a
think it was a
rainforest
different
fairy.
spirit. You know, they just appear differently maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it also could be maybe the lighting. I mean,
And
I
I've
don't
never got
know.
a green orb since then either. But I haven't done a lot of ghost investigations in a long time. It's been
Right.
a while since I've done that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it means. So I mean,
Hmm.
it's healing nature. So I mean, it sounds like it's a positive orb, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it's like, I mean, obviously it's not like a black orb or a red orb where it
But
might seem me more danger and
the crazy thing,
still.
I didn't tell you what happened right after I saw her walking on the roof. Um, sorry, I kind of lost track because I remember all the things that happened that
That's
night.
okay.
But this is why I want to tell the rest of this is because this is what solidified my love for this area and for I believe who I saw. The woman I saw, I believe in the child's room was Eilley Bowers, who's the one that built it and the one that, she was the one that had a love of that place. And she's very good positive energy in my opinion. And so when I was kind of shocked and a little bit out of myself at that when that happened. But as she came off the roof, she literally came up to me, went up to my pregnant belly, started rubbing it and telling me how excited she was and how happy she was for me and how she was like, "Oh my God, you have a baby in you." And like she remembered me almost. It was like, and I'm sitting there kind of like looking around like, is anybody else seeing this? Not really, but it happens so fast and it's like almost felt like it was in my mind
Right.
that it was like I think I'm going crazy. I think I'm literally going crazy because you feel because like I said, I didn't know it was a medium at this point.
Hmm.
I just knew that I saw ghosts and I saw things and I saw orbs and I did investigations to kind of explore that to see what kind of abilities I did have. And she's literally so excited for this baby. And that made sense to me because she lost her babies. You know what I mean? And so she was just like saying hi again in a way, you know?
Yeah.
But it was much more positive than the first experience, of course.
Right. Well, and that's the thing because Ellie and that's probably that the way she came across as someone who was a generally like good person. Like
Yeah,
she
for
knew she
sure.
had money, she knew she had all these type of things, But at the end of the day, it's just something that she was just probably just a generally good person.
Yeah. She loved people.
So tell us a little bit more about Eilley.
Um, I just feel like she. Oh, hold on. So she really loved the area, I believe, because she wouldn't have settled down there otherwise. I really feel like that, and I think she liked where she ended up putting the mansion because it was such a big area where she could have all her parties. There's a beautiful fountain in the front that everyone loves, and a lot of people go there to take photos and do photo shoots. I do that for sure. And I think the fact that she was able to be one of the richest women in Virginia City and this area um, is because she wanted to share her wealth with everybody else. You know, she didn't want to just keep it for herself. And yeah, she did lavish things like bought furniture and went on trips and things like that. But, I just really loved her energy when I got to see her the second time, because I got to go, okay, she's not just this sad woman. She is hanging around there. She ain't going nowhere. She loves that place.
She's like the Norm from Cheers.
Right.
She everyone knows her name.
Yeah, but
No.
she can't leave her place because she just loves it so much.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is because she did seances, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. She did seances and I swear she opened up something because I feel like there's so much spirit there. And I don't think it's just because people hung out there or they had parties. Like I feel like she opened up something because I feel like so many people are there, not just her. I mean, she's obviously the most strong energy there.
That was actually something I was gonna
Yeah.
bring up is the energy that
Hmm.
you now obviously you felt energy.
Yeah. That's
It
why I
did
got so many photos, I think, of orbs because there were so many people there.
but it didn't feel like negative
No,
energy. It felt
definitely
like
not.
positive. Okay. So and that might be kind of
I
to
mean, I had
what
like one experience where it felt negative, but that's it. I just don't know if you want me to get into that too.
if you want to get into that, it's what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it was bad, but definitely somebody didn't want us there. We got that impression.
Right. And that's very common. If
Yeah.
you run into a ghost, they may tell you, yeah, you need to leave.
And I'm
Don't
not
be
sure
here.
who it was because I didn't feel like it was Eilley. I didn't feel like, it almost felt like her daughter is kind of the impression I got. Because I don't think her daughter loved the attention as much as her mother. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And even though Persia didn't die there, I think she's buried there though. Like I think she still hangs out there.
So,
So we had an experience where I told my siblings all about the ghost that I saw.
yeah. And they were like, you're full
And
of
I honestly don't
shit.
remember if it was before I had the second experience or if it was after.
Hmm.
I can't remember to be honest with you. But I told them, let's go down there and let's see what happens.
Hmm.
Like I took my brother, his
Hmm.
girlfriend, my sister and her girlfriend,
Hmm.
and we all ran down there because it was the post office picnic one year,
Hmm.
and they were all there, and we were older, so we were like, I was married at that point. Obviously, I got married really young, but I was married. They were all like dating and stuff,
Right.
and so I said, let's go see if there's anything creepy happens or any ghosts, blah blah blah, whatever.
Right.
So we go down there. I'll make it quick. And we're on the front porch area, and it's a beautiful wraparound porch to the front of the area. It doesn't go all the way to the
Hmm.
back, but and it's this large, huge door. So if you do any research on it, you should check out the photos, and it's beautiful. And lots of windows and stuff like that, like tall, tall windows. And so we all go up the stairs, and then we kind of break off. I look in the windows in the front by the door, and so does my brother. And then I walk behind them, and then they saw my shadow in that big mirror that I was talking about
Hmm.
with the gold frame. It's huge. So I walked by it, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's a ghost in there." I'm like, "You guys are dorks. That's just me." It was me walking behind you. That happened, and it was kind of
I do
funny.
that every time you walk in the
We kind
house.
of
I'm like, oh my God. Oh, it's just
yeah,
kidding.
like
No, sorry.
we were laughing about that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "You guys are, just when something real happens, we'll let you know." Kind of thing.
Right.
So anyway, so then my brother and his girlfriend go one way, and then my sister and her girlfriend go the other way to kind of look in the other windows. And I think I hung out at the front. I can't remember.
Hmm.
And I might have just been exploring around. All the windows were open. The curtains were open. You could see in these windows.
Hmm.
Okay. And And then we all kind of culminate back to the door. And we're all just chatting it up and we're just kind of like bullshitting, whatever. And I look over and I'm like, what the hell? The window we had just looked in, where I had walked by and scared the crap out of them, was closed. The shutters, there's like wood shutters that go like this, you know what I'm talking about? And there's curtains in front of them, I believe. They were shut in the window we just looked in. And the thing about Bowers is it's not open all the time. There's not always people inside the mansion. They only open tours for certain days at certain times.
Right.
We knew for a fact there was probably no one in there.
And it's staffed by volunteers too. It's
Yeah,
not
staffed by
yeah.
there's not that much staff there
Right.
regularly because I go there. I went there all the time, as much as I possibly could. And I'm like, what the hell, guys? And I pointed it out. I said, look, you guys, what the hell? The shutters are closed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was familiar enough to know the place had shutters in all the windows.
Right.
Like it's a fancy mansion, so it's got these heavy wood shutters, and I don't know how the hell they close without us hearing them.
Yeah.
Honestly. And then because we had looked at all the windows above in the second floor too, and they were all open.
Mm-hmm.
So I freak out. This feels like it's a movie. I'm backing up and I'm looking at all the windows in the second floor, and I'm like, are they closed? They're all freaking closed. And I'm like, no fucking way. You guys, look. And I had to show them. I was like, I fucking told you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This place is haunted as hell. And they don't want us looking inside.
That's right. There's a reason why they want privacy.
And that's the other experience I had.
Yeah. I don't think that's even, I mean,
you can discount that, but it was
no,
weird.
I don't think
How did all those windows shut at once?
Because
shutters.
If the shutters are heavy,
mm-hmm.
and obviously if they're shut, you would have heard it.
Yeah, we didn't
right?
hear shit.
So you would have not actually done anything differently with it unless you heard it. You would have, like when you shut the door, like if you just shut like a random door, and even if you're like trying to be as quiet as you possibly can when you don't want to wake up your partner or anything, you still have to,
It still baffles me, and I just don't know how even a spirit could have done it, honestly. Because it felt like it happened like that, like so quick.
That's one of those things that you can never explain.
Yeah, it wasn't really easy to explain.
You can never explain.
But they believed me after that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, especially
like,
they're doing that. Yeah. What the hell is this all about?
Because all the windows were open, and I asked them. I said, run over to the side, because I remember this now. I told them to run to the side. I said, were all those windows open? And they said yes. And they ran around where they had just gone, and all the shutters were closed. And they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's.
We tried to debunk it. We were like, maybe somebody in there shut them all, but then how?
Well, you
could they have
can't.
done that so fast.
You can't debunk it. I mean, you can't debunk that stuff at all, especially because, I mean, I think there's overwhelming. I think what we've learned. Obviously today we've learned a lot, but I think what we've learned just in general is be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, I'm very observant.
Don't scare people through the window because they'll be shut. But I
like that.
But but most importantly, just be mindful of your surroundings, especially when you're in someone else's home, not the living, but the dead.
And maybe they felt we were being disrespectful because we were laughing and joking around. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I don't think it was Eilley, because I don't feel like Eilley would do that.
No,
because she was such a
no, because she wanted everyone to come on in, come on in.
So that's why I thought maybe it was Persia.
Right. I just you never know. You never know with these type of things. So.
Or it could have been some other spirits that were there.
That's right.
Who knows?
The ghost of Christmas past.
Yeah.
No, they would be warning people about the visitors.
It's a beautiful place. It has a great park there now.
Yeah.
We take the kids.
And as you mentioned earlier, and I know about this. They have a pool there. They have different types of amenities and stuff like that. Obviously, the pool is not built in the 1800s.
There is a swimming pool that used to be there though. It's all boarded up. That was their swimming. It's right next door.
Yeah, they probably want to maybe preserve that a bit more than, because it's probably a little bit older, but
nobody uses it or anything.
No.
There was a drowning there though, but I don't know a lot about that one. I'd have to research that more.
Well, and that might be something that we can research for another episode.
Yeah, sounds good.
That we talk about that, because obviously, that's the thing with hauntings, right? And we'll get through this on this series, is that there's always going to be something that will come up that might be okay, this is a little bit freaky or creaky or whatever, icky, but at the end of the day, that what makes the about makes the beauty about hauntings. You just everyone has a story, everyone has an experience,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna have a different reaction,
Right.
and that's what makes it great about this show because we're
Mhm.
going to talk a little bit about Northern Nevada stuff, not just Northern Nevada stuff, but all over the country and around the world.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
excited to research some more stuff
oh
and,
yeah,
and learn.
there's so many episodes that we can do on
Yeah.
different
It's
things.
crazy.
So I think that's going to do it
Okay. Sounds
for
good.
today's episode. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with Bowers Mansion before we wrap it up?
Anyway.
Anything else you want to talk about
Mm.
Bowers Mansion?
No, not really. I just think if you're in the area
Mm-hmm.
or if you live out here, you should definitely check it out and
That's right.
definitely see what it's all about.
And bring
Um,
Katie with you because apparently she,
yeah, I love it up there. It
yeah,
it just feels like a good energy, and I
and
always enjoy going.
it's a great place to just spend the day.
Yeah, and then you got all the kids going there all the time to
Yeah.
the park, and so it
Hmm.
actually feeds this positive energy there too.
Yeah. And that's what Ellie would have wanted.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
know,
think is so great about
that's
it.
what and I think the people who
Is even after she's gone, she's
right.
still got the kind of
And the caretakers probably know that. They
think on
probably
her
know
legacy and
yeah, they want to take her
and
legacy
like I said,
on.
it still has a lot of spirits there and it's very haunted.
It will always be.
But it's also got a lot of good energy
Yep.
with people visiting it and stuff. And if you
Absolutely.
can, roll down the hill because the hill is really cool at the park.
Well,
We
you
used to
don't,
roll down the hill all the time.
well, you don't want to roll down the hill because then you're going to keep rolling into Washoe Lake, which by the way there is a lake there.
Yeah,
But
it's
you'll
on
have
the
to
other
cross
side of the freeway. I think
you'll
it's
have
a
to
rough
cross
way.
580 to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
So,
when we took the girls, we had to have them roll down the hill. It's the best
absolutely.
hill in
I disagree. Ace's
Reno. Come
ballpark. Ace's
on.
ballpark. Because I can roll into the bullpen of the AAA
Right.
team. Yeah. So
But yeah, I mean, if you want to learn about her, learn about her. She's amazing, and she's a really big part of our Nevada history for
yeah,
sure.
no, and really is, and an unknown, right? Because
Sometimes, yeah.
up until you brought Ellie's story when we
Hmm.
talked about it,
Yeah.
I had no idea about Ellie. I had
Really.
no idea. I know a little bit about the Bowers Mansion in general,
Mm.
but I didn't grow up here. I grew up in LA.
Yeah. True.
So I'm more into the LA scene as far as like the hauntings and stuff down there. There's
Yeah.
a whole different story right there. Um, but yeah, I mean, no, doing the research about Ellie a little bit after you told me about that, there's a lot that goes in depth
Oh
with
yeah.
it.
There's so much more.
And I'm sure there's a lot of videos on YouTube about Bowers Mansion's history. So definitely, please check those out. We definitely want to give the creators of
Yeah, we
those
just want to bring
videos.
some awareness of the area and
Hmm.
who she was and what she did and learn
Absolutely.
on your own because
Yep.
there's a lot to it.
And if they offer a tour, take advantage of it.
Yeah, we should.
And not just for Bowers Mansion, but just any place. If there's a
Exactly.
haunted place, be respectful of the building. A lot
Yeah.
of people, when they open up those doors, they're opening it up to you to visit them. They're not asking you to take things from the building. They're not
Yeah.
asking you to draw a Ouija board. I mean, they're not asking you to do that. They're just asking you to be respectful
Yeah.
because it's not just about the hauntings. The purpose of the podcast series is for people to be aware as far as the history of buildings, about the history of the areas, about
Cool.
all these other things because there's a lot of history
And to learn about the paranormal as well.
and the paranormal is just a part of it, but
Hmm.
it's mostly just getting out there and learning about your area,
Yeah,
no
for
matter where
sure.
you are in the country or around the world.
That's my goal too.
Find out about it. So that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
all right, so that is going to do it for this edition.
Good night, guys.
Well, we're not going to bed yet. I mean, we got to still sign off. We still have the Phantom Fables thing on the thing here, but I haven't gotten to show ending yet, which we're going to do in just a second. But in any event, thank you so very much for joining us
Thanks for
here.
listening.
Yeah, thanks very much, Katie. We'll be checking in again here. We'll do another podcast, probably another 6 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. We won't do that. But I mean,
Hopefully sooner than
no,
that.
it'll be a lot sooner than that. We'll find out. We'll get a definitive schedule and we'll come up
Right.
with an idea on that. But for anyway,
We'll
for
have to figure out what our next episode's gonna be.
yeah, if you like what you heard, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment on below. Let us know if there's something you want to talk about or you want us to
Or hear about.
hear about. We have just so much paranormal stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking
Well,
forward to it.
I might have an idea if you want me to
What is
tell
it?
you.
Yeah, good.
So one of our friends was talking about the insane asylum that's in Sparks that has
Okay.
been now, torn down. But that's one that we could look into.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about an insane asylum, this place is you're in it right now, But
So I'm
are you
sorry.
talking about the railroad tracks near the Nugget? The railroad?
She said it was on Gletty, kind of by where where the
Oh,
mental
yeah, yeah,
health stuff
yeah.
is right now. In
So
Reno.
Priscilla Ford, right? Priscilla,
Can't
she
remember.
was the one. don't want to get into it too much, but she was the woman who on Thanksgiving Day drove her vehicle downtown Reno during the Thanksgiving parade and started running people over
Oh, geez.
back
Yeah,
in the
I know.
1970s.
But
That's
yeah,
yeah, but no, that's a whole different.
yeah.
I mean, and you know, they do say that experts say that even if you tear the building out, put something else, those spirits are still
There's
there.
a monument now. So,
Yeah,
yeah, so I
exactly.
might look into that soon.
Yeah, definitely check. Look into it and get back to us. So. But anyway, thanks so much for joining us here today on a first episode of the Phantom Fables podcast. My name is Michael, also known as Revan. That's Kati Kat. Thank you very much for joining us here today for our maiden voyage.
Yep.
If you have any ideas, please drop a like, leave a comment below. Otherwise, until then, we'll see you all spooky later, people, whatever. I don't know. I'll come up with a catchphrase
You
later.
gotta do it.
I'll do something better. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.